The private jet touched down in Boston 2 days after the smoke grenade incident. I still couldn't believe any of this was real. The Montgomery family, claiming I was their missing daughter. Jin Woo, insisting on coming with me. My entire life turning upside down in less than a week. Jin Woo squeezed my hand as we descended the stairs. Whatever happens, I'm here. You keep saying that. Because I mean it. A black car waited on the tarmac. The driver opened the door without a word, and we slid inside. The drive through Boston felt surreal, historic buildings, autumn leaves. A city I barely knew, but that supposedly held my origins. The Montgomery estate appeared behind tall iron gates. My breath caught. It was beautiful, a historic mansion with perfectly maintained grounds. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and like this video. Tell me in the comments where you're watching from, because I love hearing from you all. Now, let's continue. A woman stepped out as our car pulled up. She was in her 50s, beautiful, with brown skin that glowed and natural locks falling past her shoulders. When she saw me, her hand flew to her mouth. Oh my God, you look exactly like Mama. I'm Tiana, I said carefully, stepping out of the car. Victoria Montgomery, I'm your sister. She moved forward like she wanted to hug me, then stopped herself. I'm sorry. This must be overwhelming. That's one word for it. A tall, dark-skinned man appeared behind her. Salt and pepper hair, commanding presence, eyes that assessed everything. James Montgomery. Your brother. Brother. Sister. Words that should mean something but felt foreign. Please, come inside, Victoria said. We have so much to explain. The sitting room was elegant but comfortable. Victoria poured tea with shaking hands while James pulled out folders full of documents. DNA results, he said, sliding them across the table. You're a 99.9% match to Victoria and me. There's no doubt, Tiana. You're our sister. You're Aria Grace Montgomery. I stared at the papers. Numbers and charts that claimed to rewrite my entire identity. How? I whispered. 30 years ago. You were kidnapped from this house, James said. You were 6 months old. Someone took you and gave you up for adoption through falsified papers. The Brooks family adopted you, not knowing you'd been stolen. My parents didn't know? No. They were innocent. They loved you and raised you well. We're grateful to them for that. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. But Tiana, we've been searching for you ever since. When your DNA appeared in the database from a blood donation 2 years ago, we knew we'd finally found you. Jin Woo's hand found mine under the table. Who took me? I asked. James and Victoria exchanged a look. That's complicated, but she's on her way here now. She wants to confess. Who? Choi Yun-hee, Jin Woo said quietly. My mother. Everything stopped. What? We have evidence that she facilitated your kidnapping 30 years ago, James said. She was working with our family's business at the time. She had access to our home. Why would she do that? Before anyone could answer, the doorbell rang. Victoria went to answer it, returning moments later with Choi Yun-hee. Jin Woo's mother looked as composed as ever, but I saw fear in her eyes when she looked at me. So you found her, Yun-hee said, sitting down without being invited. After all these years. Why did you do it? I asked directly. Why did you steal me? Yun-hee was silent for a long moment. Then she said, Revenge. 30 years ago, I was in love with a man named Park Min-ho. He was obsessed with Victoria. When she rejected him, she was only 16, he killed himself. I was pregnant with his child. With Jin Woo, Victoria gasped. Min-ho? That wasn't my fault. I was a child. I know that now, Yun-hee interrupted. But back then, I blamed you. So I took your baby sister. I took Aria and made her disappear. I wanted you to suffer the way I suffered. But you didn't kill me, I said. No, I couldn't kill an innocent baby. So I gave you up for adoption instead. And for 30 years, That was enough. She looked at Jin-woo. Until you showed up working for my son. Until I realized he was falling for you. History repeating itself. I couldn't let that happen. So you framed me. You sent loan sharks after my family. You tried to destroy my life. I said, yes. I'm sorry. I know that means nothing, but I am sorry. Police officers entered the room. James had called them earlier. Mrs. Choi Yeon-hee, you're under arrest for kidnapping, fraud, and conspiracy. As they handcuffed her, she looked at Jin-woo one last time. I thought I was protecting you. I was wrong. Jin-woo said nothing as they led his mother away. After she was gone, Victoria came to sit beside me. I know this is a lot to process. But Tiana, you have a family, here, a home, whenever you're ready. What does that mean exactly? It means you're an heiress, James said. When you turn 30, you inherit $50 million. At 35, full access to your share of the family holdings. 300 million, give or take. The numbers felt fake. I don't want your money. It's not our money. It's yours. Your birthright. Victoria took my hand. But more than money. We want to know you. We want you in our lives. We've missed 27 years. We'd like to be part of your future. I looked at Jin-woo. What do you think? I think you should take time to figure out what you want. And whatever you decide, I'll support you. Even if I stay here in Boston? Even then, my home is wherever you are. Over the next few days, I met the Montgomery family. Aunts, uncles, cousins who welcomed me like I'd never been gone. I learned about my mother Grace, who died when I was 3, fighting for civil rights until her last breath. Saw photos of baby me, held by family members I didn't remember. Victoria taught me to make our mother's sweet potato pie. James told me stories about the family business. They didn't push, didn't demand anything except the chance to know me. Marcus called from rehab. The Montgomerys had paid for his treatment. I'm sorry. For everything. I'm going to get better. I hope so, Marcus. I really do. On our last night in Boston, Jin-woo and I walked through the estate gardens. Snow was starting to fall. Have you decided what you want to do? He asked. I think I want to split my time. Part of the year here, getting to know the Montgomerys. Part of the year in Seoul with you. I looked up at him. I want to open an art gallery. Use the Montgomery money to help young artists who can't afford to showcase their work. I want to do something meaningful. That's perfect. You'll be amazing at it. And us? What about us? Jin-woo stopped walking, turning to face me. I love you, Tiana. I've loved you since that night in Busan 5 years ago. I'm sorry it took me so long to recognize you. I'm sorry I was cruel. But I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere. I love you too. Even though you drove me crazy for 6 months. Just 6 months? I'll try to do better. I laughed, and he kissed me as snow fell around us. Inside, Victoria was making hot chocolate. James was on a business call. The house felt warm, alive with family. Tiana? Victoria called. Come see these old videos of you as a baby. I looked at Jin-woo. He smiled, nodding encouragingly. As I walked inside toward my sister's voice, I thought about everything that had happened. Being fired, accused, threatened. Learning I was someone else entirely. Finding the man from my past. Discovering a family I never knew existed. It was crazy, overwhelming, impossible, but it was also beautiful. I'd spent 5 years searching for the man from the beach. Turns out, he'd been searching for me too. We just couldn't see each other until we were ready. Now, finally, we were both found. 6 months later, I stood in my new art gallery in Seoul. The space was beautiful, modern, and welcoming, filled with work by artists who'd never had a platform before. Jin-woo wrapped his arms around me from behind. Proud of you. Couldn't have done it without the Montgomery money. You could have. You would have found a way. That's who you are. Marcus was there too, 6 months sober and enrolled in business school. The Montgomerys had given him a second chance, and he was determined not to waste it. Victoria and James flew in for the opening. They'd become a real part of my life, video calls every week, visits every few months, a family I was still getting to know but learning to love. Your mother would be so proud, Victoria said, looking around the gallery. Grace always believed art could change the world. You're honoring her legacy. I hope so. That night, after everyone left, Jin-woo pulled out a small box. Open it. Inside was a ring, simple, elegant, with a small diamond that caught the light. Tiana Brooks, Area Montgomery. Whoever you choose to be tomorrow. Will you marry me? I looked at this man who'd been my tormentor, my mystery, my love, who'd searched for me for 5 years and found me when neither of us was looking. Yes, absolutely yes. He slipped the ring on my finger, and we stood in my gallery surrounded by art and possibility and the future we'd built together. I'd been lost for so long, lost in grief after my father died, lost in Jin-woo's coldness, lost in the chaos of discovering who I really was. But maybe being lost was just the first step to being found, and now, finally, I was home. Not in Atlanta or Seoul or Boston, but right here, in this moment, with this man, building something beautiful from all the broken pieces. That night on the beach 5 years ago, Jin had told me that sometimes the best moments come when we're lost. He was right. We'd both been lost, and in finding each other, we found ourselves. And that's the end. What did you think of Tiana and Jin-woo's journey? From enemies to lovers, from lost to found. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. What part of the story was your favorite? Let me know below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.